View of this CPG demo running on ThignWorx. I'm just reloading it just to show you how long that this takes to load so that you're conscious of this when you're actually doing the demo. Most of it comes up pretty quickly, but because of the fact for this OE performance, quality, and availability, there's a lot of data points in here. You can see it does take whatever that was, 30 seconds for it to pull all the data points into the UI. So it's nice to see it navigating around, but also just be aware from a demo perspective that that's going to take some time to load this stuff in the middle. And also there's a lot of database queries that are happening to pull the various statistics together for these different KPI bars and UI components. That's why we also saw the OEE, the current order one, load a little bit slower than some of these other ones. One thing to note, I am running this in Chrome. On Firefox, I noted that these particular UI elements don't work. They didn't load properly for the utilization. So if you are seeing that, make sure you're using Chrome. I've also put this into full screen. I'm running it on an external monitor right now, so there's no problem seeing these bars. But when I'm looking at it on my laptop screen, if I'm not in full screen, then I do get these cut off a little bit. So it's important, obviously, that this mashup has been designed, this application has been designed to be responsive, but it needs to have enough screen real estate. So just make sure we're giving it the appropriate screen real estate in order to look nice for the demo. So from here, just starting at the status, the overall current order, we see we've got different machines, line overview, giving us some of the various values from the different machines. And then we've got this more detailed, nice dynamic trend that we can essentially look at the different KPIs. We can zoom in, for example, and if I right click, I can actually use my mouse wheel as well. I'm even pinching to zoom on my trackpad and it's zooming in, zooming out. But I can also right click to zoom out on that. So from here, if you see these little arrows on the side, most of these mean, sometimes they don't work, but most of them mean that we can click into this. And the idea is here is we're showing a navigation bar that is sharing metrics with us that are relevant to this particular order that we're running. And production details, right, about the order that's running right now, utilization of the overall line, and then we have utilization of the different machines. And so if I go into here first, current order, we're going to reload the same OEE chart up here, a little bit larger than before, that we can have a look at the overall current order, and then we can come down here and look at all of the the different parts that are scheduled to be produced or are being produced presently, orders that are being executed. And what's somewhat interesting about this is not only I can see for each of the orders how many good and bad parts were produced and how many are remaining, but I can also do some searching. So if I wanted to come in here and just, for example, pick a particular part number, I can pick a part number and I can paste it in here, do a search, and now I'm just going to have the dynamically filtered list that's showing me all of the other orders for this particular part. I can also schedule different ones, so I can essentially come in here and say that I want 125 new tubular stabilizer bars for SUVs. I'm conscious of the fact that this isn't really CPG, and now I will have those coming up in my list. I'm just going to search for SUV to find it easier. Okay, where's my order? 125. Basically, it should go into a waiting state. There we go. So it's ready. The order has been submitted. It's in a ready state, ready to be executed. and this is really just, as a way of expressing we're integrating with an MES. We are pulling the current orders and the status of all the orders, but we're also, orchestrating from the interface to be able to reschedule something, or we can do something from a planning perspective to change the schedule of one of these particular orders. They have arrows here, but we haven't implemented anything to go to a different screen to maybe reschedule one of these orders. And if I just move down on the left, basically production. So this is really just diving into the details about the production and the consumption, and looking at the good and the scrap parts for and here, similarly to the previous page, I've got this dynamic filter here that I can use to filter this list if I'm looking for a particular part. Keeping in mind this is about the production order that's ongoing right now. So I did just see it where it just started a production order, so there wasn't any data in here. So just keep that in mind. Maybe while you're doing the demo, if you see that this is at the end, then leave this part for a later part of the demo. And then this is just the consumption side of that. And let's go down into kind of the utilization side of things now. So if I just come right into the utilization report, basically we're exploding and getting more and more details and data. Here we have an aggregated view of the different machines and the overall line utilization. But here what we're seeing is kind of a blown up version of that with aggregation of all of the different events. And we can see what's kind of nice here is a timeline, a visual timeline of the event statuses here, as well as the overall percentage of availability. And I'm actually going to go deeper into these things. So let's go into the bending machine. I clicked on it there, but I can also click on it on the side. And now for the particular bending machine, we see the same graph here with the overall availability and the events. How long it's been in the particular good production run mode right now. And if I find a particular event, I can also classify it. So here it says unavailable for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm going to go find another 35 minutes here. This is classified as meetings. Let's pick this 19-minute one. If I click on that, I can say that the machine was not online, and I can change the status. I can also add, so here we see it changed it to machine not online. I can also add comments to this as well, but I wasn't able to get the comments to work, so I don't believe that they do. Oh yeah, okay, so that worked. So it seems that the comments are a little bit buggy. But I can also add oh, there we go. So then I see the comments over on the side there. So I wouldn't bother going into the analysis and the statuses here. It seems that this is a part of the older part of the application that doesn't really work. It wasn't beautified. It wasn't finished. So it's got some issues. And basically, the rest are just the same thing for the various different machines. We do have a filter, a dynamic filter here as well. If we are looking for a particular thing, you might be able to search for the comments there. But all in all, I mean, I think that's ample as far as what you can show with this demo, because really it's expressing a lot of different things. One is you've got a permanent view of the KPIs over here, and not just KPIs as in percentages, but you've got an overall, I believe this is a 24-hour, 1-day cumulative total on the different events. And basically, it's a question of click in and drill down to see the various things to get a better view of it, but also keeping in mind that we have a multi-system view here, right? So this is data that's coming from the PLC, the MES, as well as eventually quality system. We don't have a quality system in here, but it's the same concepts where we've got an application that's developed that's regrouping and presenting to the user one application that is a one-stop shop for all of the roles that they may need.